40 years, baby, and I still love it. Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Let me tell you, the NES, I think, will go down in history as the most consequential and most important console in history. Now, I did not, start gaming with the NES. As I told you before, I started with Atari. I played ColecoVision before that, which is, if you want to say that was the NES Zero, the Nintendo Zero, that the prequel, right? So I had those experiences. I had to play it on the television, my friends in television. But the NES will be remembered as the video game console. Not only did it save gaming back in the day, right? Got us out of the video game crash. But it also was the driver behind retro gaming. It really is. So in no other console can you say that. No other console has been that influential in two very important times in history for gaming. The retro video game market is more popular than ever. These things are worth more than ever, and a large part of it has to do because people went back to the old NES games and were enjoying them again. And let me tell you, for me, what a journey. 40 years. I've been doing this 40 years, playing this machine 40 years. And let me tell you, just like everybody else, I remember that I bought mine in the mall, right? I was working at a cookie shop. It was the first time that I ever bought a product that wasn't a car for myself. Right, this is the first thing that I bought that was really expensive, and it was expensive at the time. I bought the Robbie the Robot. I think it cost me like $139.99. Remember, I had to put like $40 down. I was doing layaway. Those are still a thing back then. And man, and then I bought games after that. But I remember that was the first time where I had to work for something that I was buying for myself that I was really, really going to enjoy. And I was not wrong. Every single penny that I paid on Nintendo products is always paid out, when it comes to the NES. Just saying that you played something for 40 years should tell you. And there's always games that we have in mind, right? Everybody talks about the good old days and Mario and Duck Hunt, and I played Mario so many times, and I'll show you the games that we spent the most time in. I remember Duck Hunt being more of a family thing, and my sisters would love just watching the dog and the ducks. It was just fun, fun and games. My sisters would watch me play Mario. And I remember the first time that I played Mario was at a burger joint that had this arcade unit that was, it wasn't legal, just something they put together, but Mario was in it. It was a knockoff, right? It was a bootleg, and I didn't know what to do because I had played the Mario Brothers before, where you would hit the turtles from underneath, and had the POW button and all that stuff. But this Mario was different. Number one, because it's a bootleg machine. The definition on it was just crap. It's very, blurry type stuff, right? And I didn't know how to play Mario. I was watching other people play. And while they were playing this, they're saying, "Oh yeah, these games are coming. They're coming home. There's going to be a console that you can play these games on." I'm like, "What?" And that's what started my interest in this, right? And sure enough, we got it home, man. And ever since the days of the Atari, I'd never been on a console for so long. And there's some games that are just memorable. Remember, one of the launch games that I spent a lot of time with was Kung Fu, man. I love this in the arcade, and I couldn't get enough of it at home. I'd come home from school. Man, what a life. Come home from school, get a snack, sit by the TV, play Kung Fu on my NES. Life couldn't have been better, man. I wish those were still the days. And of course, Punch-Out. Oh man, I was always an action type of guy. I liked action type games. I wasn't that much into Zelda. I wasn't wasn't much into anything else. I wasn't much into any type of RPG. I found them too slow. You know, when I get home from school, I wanted action. You know, I wanted something that moved at a faster pace. And these type of games really fit the bill for me. You know, action games were it for me. And I remember just being on there, man, trying to beat Mike Tyson, just trying to beat him, trying to memorize the pattern. Took forever, you know, and my cousins and my sisters were watching me, you know, and I was the oldest cousin. I was the first one to be able to afford the unit, so they would come and see what I was doing, you know. Regardless, guys, and then I bought a game, and it was the first time I realized that I was becoming an adult, right? But I was still in high school, but I was having adult problems in high school because I started working when I was 14, right? So I remember I purchased this game, Gradius, you know, because I had seen it and I was just like, I gotta have that game. That's my cup of tea right there, right? And I remember buying the game, bringing it home, you know, after work, because I would close the store. So, you know, the store closed at 9, the mall closed at 9. I'd be out of there by, you know, 9:30, 10. Got home, I was tired and hungry, you know, so I'd get there, eat, and I started playing, and I remember being really tired. I didn't even play an hour, you know. I said, okay, I'll play tomorrow after school. So, you know, I went to sleep, got up for school, went to school, came back, and said, okay, I'm going to play right now. And I remember that it seemed like a blur, and all of a sudden my alarm went off. Oh, you got to go back to work again. I was like, Jesus Christ. It was the first time where I was like, man, you know, I worked so much so I could buy these video games, but I'm so tired from working that I don't have time to play the video game. The things that I complain about now, right? It's the same things. But I remember happening to me back then, you know, while I was still in high school. And it was crazy, but it's crazy great. You know, I think the legacy of this console, you know, so many people have said it, but one of the things that I don't see people say a lot is that it's responsible for two very important periods in gaming history. And one of them was, of course, getting us out of that crash, you know, the crash that famously, the E.T., that piece of crap game that I bought with my Christmas money that turned out to be crap, you know, help initiate with a video game crash. You know, and they got us out of that. Nintendo got us out of that with their business model by putting the machines out there and saying, if we don't sell them, you know, we'll buy them back. You have no risk here, right? By doing all that stuff, by using the seal of quality to make sure that we wouldn't have crap games, man, that really worked. We really needed that back then, believe it or not. And that was very forwardly thinking of them to think of those things so they wouldn't have another collapse on their hands. And they helped revive the market. You know, after that, the Genesis shortly followed, and then everything else after that, right? But then, so many years later, right? So many years later in the 2000s, you know, starting the retro market again, right? People going back to the NES, you know, enjoying these games that we love so much and playing them again because that soul was gone out of the market. It started a brand new industry. You know, all these games are worth so much money back here because of that. So it was influential in two very different time periods, decades apart. But it really has made gaming what it is today. It's incredible to think 40 years of the NES. I still love it. What about you? I'm still playing it, baby. Kung Fu all the way. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by the channel. Thank you for your comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, join if you can. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.